Hey everyone, Allison Gardner here, and I'm very excited for this week's tool. And I know that I say that every week, but it's because I really am excited. These things that I'm teaching change mindset, change perspective, and they are worthwhile to be excited about. So I am very excited today. Now, last week's techniques and tools were about how we heal, how we allow ourselves to feel things so that we can let them go. And I realized that for those who are in a kind of fight or flight mindset, we understand why we want to let these things go. We feel very burdened by them. We feel very weighed down by them. But if we don't feel burdened or weighed down by them, why would we want to get rid of them? So today's video is about why we want to practice emotional first aid, why we want to allow ourselves to heal. And I will explain about the technique that goes with it on Thursday, but for today I want to talk about why we do that. So when we have a negative thought, and sometimes we recognize them in the moment and sometimes we don't. And it's kind of down the road that we realize, oh, I'm in a bit of a mood. I'm feeling a bit this way. Why do I feel this way? And so then we have to walk the steps back. Other times we can recognize it instantaneously. Either way, whether we recognize it in the moment or later, that emotion can get trapped inside of us. If we're better at doing it in the moment and going, my friend taught me this yesterday actually. So when we feel an emotion, instead of going, ooh, I don't want to feel that way, I'm going to push it away. Instead, as an emotion enters our mind, we go, oh, I recognize that as anger. Or, oh, I recognize that as frustration. And I recognize, so you say, I recognize this as anger. I recognize this as sadness. So you acknowledge it right at the get-go, and then you say, and I choose to feel joy. So in recognizing the emotion for what it is, acknowledging it for what it is, we then don't have to do anything else with it. I don't know if you can picture in your mind a little, probably 4-year-old tugging at a mom's skirt. Mom, 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 mom. As soon as that 4-year-old is recognized and addressed and said, oh, honey, what can we do for you? They are able to share what's wrong and then they leave. Or they share what they want and then they leave. The same thing happens with our emotions. When we recognize or acknowledge an emotion right away, that emotion can just leave. And so I'd encourage you guys to be mindful of that over the next few days. Recognize what emotions are coming up, and instead of burying them or trying to push them away, say, oh, I feel this way, thank you, and leave. And then you don't have to do anything about it. Last week's tool was about when we've pushed things down and we've buried things for a long time, then you have to pull them up and thank them and recognize them and see where it's all coming from. Those things are important, but the better that we get at doing this at the outset, right as it occurs, the less we bury those emotions and the less we have to process them later. So thank you so much, Joanna, for teaching me that. I have already found it so amazing and so effective. Now, for those of you who are going, why do I want to do that? Because anytime that we have an emotion and we keep it, we don't acknowledge it, we don't recognize it, but we keep it and we hold on to it, we start storing it in our body because our thoughts are energy. Our thoughts have mass. And so if we don't process them and work through them, then they cling to us and they stick inside of us. And there are different parts of our bodies that hold on to different emotions. So if a part of your body hurts consistently and you don't know why, maybe do some research, find out which emotion is stuck in that part of the body and what you can do with it. What you can do to kind of thank it for being there and then leaving it, having it go on its way. Because those emotions can cause us pain. They get stored in places and they're toxic. They have a very negative vibration. They have a very negative energy. And so the more that we store them, the more that our body has to store protective layers around them to protect us from the toxicity. So if you are tired of toxic thoughts weighing you down, quite literally, because that protective layer is fat, then say goodbye to them. Process them like we talked about last week and say goodbye. Or if you're tired of pains that just kind of linger and you're not sure why they're there, start processing and thinking about maybe my body's storing it for me. So pull it up, let it go, send it away, and we'll talk about more how to do that on Thursday. Have a great day, and I will see you guys on the flip side to the brighter side of life.